Welcome to this presentation of Meet the Experts AYA edition titled Adolescent and Young Adult Program with our expert Amber Skinner, Moffitt's Adolescent and Young Adult Program Administrator. AYA Meet the Experts is brought to you by Moffitt Cancer Center's Patient Library and Welcome Center and the Adolescent and Young Adult Program. Please visit moffitt.org/meettheexperts to see our upcoming sessions. Now, please welcome our expert Amber.
Thank you so much, Morgan. And thank you everyone for joining today or logging on to review. Again, I am Amber Skinner. I am the Adolescent and Young Adult Program Administrator. And I'm here to just describe and give a little more information about our program that we have at Moffitt Cancer Center. So before jumping into the program, I wanted to start with who is an AYA. The AYA acronym stands for Adolescents and Young Adults. And I know adolescents and young adults may refer to 15 to 18, but in AYA oncology or in the oncology world, we are really looking at 15 to 39 as it is a little bit younger to have a cancer diagnosis. Over 85,000 adolescents and young adults are diagnosed with cancer in the US each year, and they account for approximately 5% of all cancer diagnoses. And these are a variety of different specific cancer types. And so there's not one particular or two different type of cancer types or diagnoses that are specific to AYA. There may be a higher incidence in some of those cancer diagnoses, such as breast cancer, hematology, etc. But there are actual patients between the ages of 15 and 39 in almost all of the cancer spectrum. And so keeping that in mind, we want to be sure that we're acknowledging these patients, especially across the Cancer Center at Moffitt. And the reason this population is considered a separate population from pediatric cancer and adult or older adult oncology is because these patients have unique challenges or differences that are compared to those populations. And some of those challenges may be a variety of those that you see on this next slide, which are a delay in diagnosis. This population also has higher uninsured rates. As you can imagine, this is the time where patients are setting themselves up for their adulthood. They may be in school, they may be setting themselves up in their career or starting a career. They also are transitioning between jobs, and they may be transitioning between their parents' insurance and their own insurance. And so we're seeing higher uninsured rates for these patients within the population. Because of a delay in diagnosis, we're also seeing a higher prevalence of aggressive disease. And some research even shows that even with the same diagnosis, AYA patients have worse outcomes than some of the pediatric and the adult oncology diagnosis. And so what we want to make sure at Moffitt and across the nation is that we're doing research to understand the biology of the AYA population and to address why there might be a higher prevalence of aggressive disease. Another unique AYA challenge is the transition from independence to dependent stages of life. Again, as we mentioned, this is the time where these patients and individuals are becoming their own. They are stepping into adulthood or they're establishing their families and transitioning back into a dependent stage as you may have been as a childhood individual. We want to make sure that we're supporting patients throughout that transition. And then when the patients are completed with their treatment, we want to make sure that we're also supporting and assisting them as they transition back to dependence. And this can be a challenging time emotionally for patients as well as mentally. And so we want to be able to provide support during that time. Financial toxicity is not unique to oncology or any individual that may have a cancer diagnosis, but we are seeing higher rates of AYA patients with financial toxicity because of the nature of their age. And as we established, these are patients that are transitioning into different jobs or trying to set up themselves for adulthood, or they may not have a job at all as they may be a student or still under their parents financially and or their insurance. Because this is of childbearing age, the AYA population is also at a higher risk for fertility or infertility. And so we have fertility preservation, education opportunities for patients, and we want to make sure that we're addressing these risks as chemotherapy and other types of cancer treatments can cause infertility. We want to make sure that long term and down the road, these patients have a high quality of life even after their cancer treatment is complete. And finally, AYA patients are also the lowest or have the lowest accrual rates in clinical trials. And so we are trying to establish why this may be. Again, we have researchers that are looking at different ideas or different perceived notions from patients, and also looking at the clinical trials availability to understand why this might be. One of the unique challenges are survivorship. So even into that transition after the cancer treatment, we find that sometimes patients feel isolated and alone. They feel a lot behind their peers. And so again, just providing additional support can make a world of difference for an adolescent and young adult patient. And this is a challenge that we are continuously trying to address through our program. When looking at the patient population at Moffitt, we do have what we call new AYA patient appointment data. And so as you can see at the graph below, last year we saw 2,215 new AYA patient appointments alone. And that is compared to 2,169,000 from the previous year. Again, all of our patients are spread out throughout different clinics in the cancer center as they have different cancer diagnoses. And this blue bar graph will show you that these are all of the 15 through 39 patients in that particular clinic. You can also see they're broken down by different ages. So you may see a variation between certain clinics that have a higher population of the 35 and 39, like our breast clinic. And then you may see a higher population between that 15 and 19 as well. And so again, just highlighting that there are patients across the diagnosis all over the cancer center, and our program is trying to reach all of these patients to let them know that there are resources available for them. Our AYA program strives to meet those unique needs of the AYA patients that we just described. Our vision is to contribute to the improved clinical outcomes of adolescents and young adults with cancer, and we do that by addressing age-specific medical, educational, psychosocial, reproductive, research, and survivorship needs. We also have the program mission to improve cancer care experience and long-term effects for AYAs with cancer at Moffitt by ensuring that they have access to resources, services, and events that are a little more age-specific. On the right, you can see this is our AYA lounge, which is a specific space designated just for our AYA patients. They have access to this space 24/7 by receiving an access card, and they can do this at either the information desk that we have available on the first floor of the Magnolia main campus and or the inpatient nursing floors at the Magnolia main campus. This lounge is located on the 4th floor, and we invite all AYA patients to use it. Our program goals include addressing those AYA unique issues and challenges that we spoke about previously. Our main goal is to advocate. So we are here to advocate for the patients. We listen to patient feedback and patient voices to identify which direction our program should go. We try to maintain and create different educational materials for AYAs, for their families, and for their individual journeys. And then we also have fertility education materials as well. As we mentioned before, this is the childbearing age for patients within this population, and we also educate team members on the risk of infertility and making sure that they're recommending resources for fertility preservation. We navigate and offer individualized assistance to patients, families, and caregivers. And we have an AYA nurse navigator that is embedded in our sarcoma department. If interested in meeting with a nurse navigator, there are also nurse navigators in variety of different clinics, and we now have an AYA specialty nurse subcommittee where we have nurses that are trained and educated on AYA challenges and AYA patient care, and they are also within each different clinic, and they can provide additional resources and answer questions that any patient or team member may have. From a psychosocial perspective, we are here to assess, intervene, and advocate for the psychosocial needs or the emotional needs of an AYA cancer patient. We work with our social work department to make sure that all patients have access to a social worker and have the ability to ask questions as needed and align those resources that are maybe outside of the cancer treatment, so transportation and financial assistance, etc. Our psychosocial or social work department is phenomenal and has been a huge asset in our AYA program. We have a research support team that supports our improvement to clinical outcomes, and they provide research and coordinated efforts across diagnosis, as well as some of the psychosocial challenges the population may face. We also create social opportunities for AYAs with cancer to benefit from peer-to-peer engagement. What we have heard from other patients is that no one else gets it like another patient within this age range. And it is beneficial for patients to meet with others that are going through the cancer care experience, regardless of their cancer diagnosis, as we do identify that this is a unique population and they need unique support along with it. Survivorship, we hope to promote health and well-being for post-treatment, and we do that by addressing physical, vocational, emotional, social, and spiritual needs. How the AYA program works and meets those patient needs. As you can see here, we facilitate access to AYA age-specific resources, services, and events. And this is based on a patient's unique plan of care and their unique needs. We recognize that a 15-year-old or an 18-year-old is going to have very different needs than a 38-year-old. And we want to make sure that the resources and services that we are providing are effective for those patients that we are serving. And so we identify patients either through their clinics, or a nurse may reach out to us, a social worker, and the patient themselves or their family members. They're more than welcome to email us and or sign up for our AYA newsletter, where we have an event email that is sent out every month, and we have patient stories through that event email. If you have questions, again, you are more than welcome to reach out to us, and we will set up a one-on-one call, and or we can email back and forth to understand what it is that you may need. And so depending on the patient's needs, we may offer education materials, we may offer social support, and that may be meeting with another patient. It may be referring you to our mentorship program that is external from Moffitt. It may include referrals to clinical services, and that may be fertility preservation before your treatment begins, the survivorship clinic, the social work department, our rehabilitation department, and then our supportive care medicine. We also have genetic counseling for those individuals who may not have a cancer diagnosis, but have a known genetic mutation. And this on the right just shows who the program is supported by. We have a program leader that organizes and supports the cancer research efforts that are specific to AYA, and that our program coordinator or administrator now, I help with those advocacy efforts in organizing the program as a whole. Some of the program activities for patients include monthly networking socials. This is held at a restaurant down at International Plaza, if you're familiar with Tampa. We meet every first Monday of the month, and this is where all young adults are available to bring a caregiver or a plus one, and that caregiver can also receive support from meeting with other caregivers of an AYA patient or individual. We have a monthly ambassador advocacy group. So this is a patient advocacy group. This group helps us to, again, provide feedback on the programs that the AYA program is developing, and also come up with different social events for other patients. We offer quarterly educational webinars as one that we're doing now. These are Meet the Experts. We partner with the patient library to offer AYA specific topics and provide a subject matter expert that can address the topics and answer any questions that you may have. Every first week of April is annual AYA Awareness Week, where we have a variety of activities, including painting with a twist or escape room. We've done a variety of these previous activities during AYA Awareness Week, which is a boat cruise, weekend retreat, Friendsgiving during Thanksgiving, and then we've done wellness fairs as well. And one of my favorite events is our annual holiday party at the end of the year in December, where we get together and really just have a great time. We meet with other patients, we meet with other individuals who are AYA advocates and family members. And I'd like to play this social event.
Hi, I'm Amber Skinner. I'm the Adolescent and Young Adult Program Administrator for Moffitt Cancer Center. And I am here today for one of our special off-campus events, which is a cooking class at Sur La Table. Super excited to be able to offer this in person. As you guys know, we've been doing cooking classes online for like 2 years now.
This is my first event. I'm excited to be here, and I'm in survivorship right now.
We have been doing a SOAR program and teaching kitchens for about 3 years now, doing them virtually. This is the first time we're getting to come together with the AYA group and do it in person, so it's very nice to be together in an event.
It's really neat, right? Because the teaching kitchen idea is super powerful. It's not just about nutrition and learning what's healthy for us, but it's having that fun and sharing the experience of cooking all together and learning how to master these different techniques and learning some technique-driven plant-based recipes that can be super tasty, fun, and easy as well.
So just to give you an idea of some of the events that we do off campus, again, it's a great time to meet with other patients, and it allows AYA individuals the opportunity to not only meet with others, but to learn something new in whichever activity that we participate in. In regards to team members, so those Moffitt staff and faculty members that work here at Moffitt, we do have activities for you as well. And this would be a variety of these activities that you see on this list. For AYA staff committee meetings, this is where we address those AYA unique challenges and we problem solve or brainstorm different solutions with the resources that we have available at Moffitt. We meet every fourth Thursday of every other month at 12 o'clock. And if you are interested, there is, you would just send me a personal email at amber.skinner@moffitt.org or aya@moffitt.org, and we would get you the calendar invites. We have monthly subcommittee meetings. We have an AYA specialty nurse subcommittee, a fertility subcommittee, and a psychosocial subcommittee where we speak specifically to those unique issues. Our AYA specialty nurse really tries to work on the education portion of our AYA goals. We have an AYA Awareness Week activities for team members as well that have included lunch and learns, lounge and learn, annual research retreats, grand rounds, and road shows. And then in addition, we've done some volunteer opportunities with Generation M, and we partner with the patient library for Meet the Experts, as you know. Here we see our AYA program partners, and we just like to thank them as we could not have a program or continue to provide program resources and services without them. Most of the donors that you see here have been partners and donors for many years and have provided us opportunities internally and externally to establish the program opportunities that we offer through the AYA program. So special thanks to them. And just from a structural standpoint, you can see here, this is how Moffitt's AYA program organizational chart is set up. I can be reached at 745-4736, but I am the program administrator and I partner with our program lead who oversees the program at hand. We have our staff committee that assists with the specific subcommittees as I mentioned before. And then we do have that AYA Ambassadors Patient Advocacy Committee that helps us with the social events. In terms of resources for our patients and our staff members that are interested in learning more, please check out our moffitt.org/AYA page. I highly encourage you to watch the Warriors video where you can hear from patient experience how much having that peer-to-peer support is beneficial for them. I would like to encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. You can see at the circle below, this is where you would click on that newsletter and fill out just your name and your email address, and you'll be automatically added to our listserv, and we can send out those monthly emails to keep you in the know for all things AYA. Our emails look very similar to this. So you can see here, we have an events email. This is where you'll see all of the upcoming events for the month. And I would say biannually, we send out a newsletter, which will also include a patient story. And it'll have external resources at the very bottom of that page, along with some AYA ambassador recommendations. In the past, we recommended different books, podcasts, apps that you can use, and this comes directly from our patient advocacy group. We also have AYA resource packets. This is the tangible packet that you can receive through the patient library. You can also receive it through your clinic. Please request from one of the AYA specialty nurses, and or you can always send an email to aya@moffitt.org so that you can receive it directly from me. It looks a little bit like this. This is the front page, and this is our different content pillars within the actual resource packet. At the very end of the presentation, I'm going to exit out and just give you a quick glance at what that packet looks like. If you go to the additional resources within the packet, you'll also see a lot of different external resources that we've been able to combine into one page and also link. If you do receive the link via email or electronically, you can click on that link and it'll pull up the website directly from the resource packet. Another very interesting and great resource we have here at Moffitt is the fertility preservation resource. And so we do provide education on fertility preservation, what it is, the different types of preservation options. And we do have a financial assistance program associated with fertility preservation. And these can be used at following Bay Area fertility clinics that we have created a partnership with. And so our partner fertility clinics are aware that our Moffitt patients typically need a pretty quick turnaround in terms of a consultation, and if they did want to proceed with fertility preservation services. And so our clinics are very aware of what our needs are, and if you call whichever number works best for you, depending on where you may be located, as Florida Fertility Institute is in Clearwater, Reproductive Medicine Group is very close to Moffitt off of Fletcher, and then Shady Grove Fertility is down at West Shore in Tampa. Depending on which clinic works best for you, they can get you set up with an actual appointment. And if you do qualify for any financial assistance, you would apply through Moffitt, and we can pay up to a certain amount towards your fertility preservation service. And so you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. If you have questions, again, feel free to reach out to aya@moffitt.org. We have again, AYA nurse navigator that can also navigate or assist you with that navigation process. You can also ask your social worker about how to set up an appointment with the fertility clinic or which fertility clinics should you go to. And this information can be found on moffitt.org/fertility. Thank you so much for attending. I did want to stop and share our resource packet, again, that you can find through the library. As an electronic document, it will look something similar to this. And if you scroll through, you will see there are different tabs for those pillars that we mentioned at the top, including the lounge information, fertility information, sexual health, psychosocial, and all the resources we have available at Moffitt. And then at the very bottom, I'm just going to scroll down to our additional resources page. We have a mentorship program we partner with. There's some cool outdoor adventures if you're interested in participating. And then our last page is the AYA online resources. And as you can see here, there are quite a few resources we have available. Depending on what type of resource you're looking for, you can look under general or financial, fertility, wish granting. And then again, you can click on some of the links that you see here. And if you're interested in going directly to that site, this document will take you directly to that website.
Thank you, Amber, for sharing information about the AYA program at Moffitt and AYA Awareness Week that takes place the first week of April. Thank you all for viewing this session. We offer live Meet the Expert sessions through Zoom. To see a full list of upcoming sessions, please visit moffitt.org/meet the experts or call 813-745-1690.